Aloha and welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my year in review series. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'll put a card here and a link in the description. When we ended part 1, we were in Italy. However, by the first week of July, we were in Split, Croatia. Split is most famous for Diocletian's palace, which was constructed as the retirement home for Emperor Diocletian, the only emperor to resign. Much like Thanos, I guess, after his work was done, he retreated to a simple life, with some accounts saying he tended to his garden in his retirement years. The interior buildings and sculptures are beautiful, obviously worthy of an emperor status. The palace is over 1,000 years old, and amazingly has been continually occupied since being built. Over the years, residents have built dwellings within the walls of the palace and on the actual walls. So although this is a historic structure, there are actually private residences within the walls. This is my favorite picture from our tour. It shows an exposed section of the exterior wall. Here you can see the multiple layers of the wall that coincided with different periods of construction. We only had a few hours to see Venice because we are departing for Hawaii the next morning, so it was a mad dash to see 3 sites. St. Mark's Square, the Bridge of Sighs, and the bridge where Mysterio and Spider-Man fought the water elemental, also known as the Rialto Bridge. This last pic is my favorite of the day, taken with my entire arm outside of our water taxi to get the right angle. It's hard to beat a European cruise, but coming back to the Pokemon World Championships helped. I even caught a few of the special edition Pikachus at Hilton Hawaiian Village, which hosted the event along with the Hawaii Convention Center. The highlight of the multi-day event was the evening drone shows. I'd never seen one before, so this was a special treat. I've posted the full-length drone show on my channel, and will link it here and in the description. My wife and I traveled to the great state of Texas for a convention. The absolute highlight of the trip was attending a farewell gala at the AT&T Stadium. There were only 1,200 or 1,400 attendees, so it was kind of neat having the run of the place, with that place being a stadium that can hold 80,000 people. Here are a couple of pics of the empty stadium. October was all about comet hunting and trying to get a decent picture of the Tsuchinshan Atlas comet. I have to tell this funny story of how we were able to get pics of the comet. I was out by Diamond Head Lighthouse with 2 friends looking for the comet. In this video you can actually see the lighthouse blinking. We looked for about 45 minutes and couldn't find it. We were about to give up when this guy walks up and asked if we are looking for the comet. I told him yes and pointed to the area of the sky where the comet should be. After a few minutes he says, "I see it." However, the rest of us couldn't see it. He kept saying that he could see the tail of the comet, but the 3 of us still couldn't see anything. Honestly, there was a strong smell of pakalolo that was emanating that area, so we all thought he was high and just seeing things. But after a few minutes, the sky got a little bit darker, and it turns out that he actually was seeing the comet. I remarked that he must have really good vision, and he commented that he had had LASIK surgery recently and was actually seeing a little bit better than 20/20. I said, wow, whatever you paid for that LASIK surgery was worth it. And the funny part is, he said he used a Groupon to get the surgery. Well, skimping on eye surgery wouldn't be my first choice, but it looked like it worked out well for this guy. Anyway, with his help, we wound up getting a few good pics of the comet. If you watched part 1, you know that I vowed never to use Fuji again after it crapped out on me in Sorrento, Italy. In October, I started experimenting with Sony cameras and related gear. I tried several camera and lens combinations, which are all well documented on my channel, so I won't go into detail here. But I will share a few of my favorite pics from those videos. And once again, I'll put links to those videos in the description. All this experimentation led me to using Sony gear for my annual Christmas pics and my parents' 60th wedding anniversary bash. I have to be honest and say that using a Sony camera after so many decades with Canon has not been quite the easy transition that I thought it would be. I'm going to share a few pics from the anniversary party, which in the end I was very pleased with. However, it took a lot of work in Luminar Neo to get them presentable. To me, it just seemed like the exposure and white balance differed from shot to shot, even though we were indoors with consistent lighting. I think I'll make a video soon about the growing pains of moving from Canon to Sony. I do have to say though that my shoulders and my back are enjoying the lighter weight gear, which is the main reason why I started using Sony gear. Okay, so that's my current state of affairs going into 2025. My intentions for the year are to continue shooting my Canon for sports, but I'd like to transition full-time to the Sony a7C II for travel and everyday carry. For video, I don't have any plans of transitioning away from the GoPro Hero 11 Black. I love the portability, ease of use, and image stabilization. Thus far, I have 2 trips scheduled for the year, so we'll see if that comes to fruition. Well, thank you for sticking around. If you found any of this content entertaining or informative, please consider dropping a like and subscribe for future content. But in the meantime, let me know, what are your plans for 2025?